In this Autodesk Fusion tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can make a spiral lampshade for 3D printing using surface tools, Thicken, and the Revolve tool. We'll also use a surface loft to be able to make the different pieces. In the beginning, we'll set up a few offset planes that will define where the parts of the lampshade go. So select Construct Offset Plane. Select the origin and type -10. This is the bottom reference plane that we'll use. We can label this bottom reference. The origin plane will serve as the true bottom of the lampshade. So you can see that the origin plane is a little bit above. Next, select Construct Offset Plane. And then this will be the height of our lampshade. I'm going to make just a small little desk lampshade. So I'm going to type in 200 here. This plane can be labeled top of lamp. Then create one more offset plane from this, and we'll go up 10. Label this plane top reference. Select Create Sketch. Create a sketch on the bottom reference offset plane. Press L for the line tool. And you can hide the other planes if they're in your way. Click the origin and then drag out. And we want to go pretty far so we have lots of freedom to make our lamp. So type 300. Then finish that sketch. Select Create Sketch and create a sketch on the top reference plane. Press L, select the origin, and then draw out 300. Press D to dimension the angle from the original line. We'll call this 60. Dimension it 60. This is what will give the lampshade its twist. You can see that it projects this line in from the bottom. Click Finish Sketch. Then click on the Surface Work Tools. Select Create, Loft. Click this line, then this line. And this creates an infinitely thin surface, loft. Press OK. We need to add some thickness to this, so select Create, Thicken. And for this, I'm going to thicken it 1 millimeter on each side, so that'll give me a 2 millimeter thick piece, and press OK. Go back to the solid workspace, and let's look at the front. Click Create Sketch, and then create a sketch on this front plane. We'll use a fit point spline to define the outside contour of the lampshade. The only things to keep in mind is you want a nice, gradual, interesting curve. You cannot cross the center line, otherwise you can't do the revolve. And we want to start above and below. So click Fit Point Spline, start here. And splines look better the least amount of points they have. So we just want a few points. Then you can move these around to adjust the curve as you see fit. I think that looks good there. Then select the Offset tool, click this spline, and then offset in 2 millimeters. Press OK. Select the Line tool, and then zoom in to where the offset spline is, and click both these points. We want to close the profile. Once that profile is closed, click Finish Sketch. Select Revolve from Fusion's Create menu. It'll probably automatically select this profile, but if it doesn't, make sure you click Profile, then select this profile. For the axis, we're going to use the center vertical axis, and that's this blue one right here. By default, it's going to cut into this form, but we want it to intersect. By intersecting, we only keep this really cool thin piece, and we'll say OK. Next, re-show the top of the lamp. We're going to use this as a splitting tool, so select Split Body, click this body, then for splitting tools, click the top lamp and the bottom plane. So this cuts off that piece at the top and bottom. Select OK. In Fusion's browser, look at the bodies. One of these will be the long piece that we want to keep. In this case, it's body 4. So I want to select body 1, 2, and 3, right-click, and remove. Remember, in Autodesk Fusion, don't delete things, remove them so it still has the information in the file. Then re-show this body. Select Create, Mirror. Click the body. And then for the mirror plane, you can use any plane you want, but I'm going to use this one here. And then say OK. This is a good time to save your file because we're going to do a circular pattern, and that can be computationally expensive. So we want to make sure that we have a save point. Select Create, Pattern, Circular Pattern. The object type will be bodies. Select these 2 bodies. The axis will be the center axis. Defaults to 3, but we can increase this very quickly. If I type 30, I automatically get this pretty cool pattern and lattice work that is created. If I type 50, it becomes even tighter, which can be pretty cool. So I think I'm going to type 50, then press OK. Now we need to add a top and bottom. In this particular case, these ended pretty close to the top and they look really nice. But on the bottom here, it isn't so perfect. So we have a couple choices. You could cut this off at this level here, not a bad option, but we can also add in pieces, a little lip and rim at the top and bottom. To do that, create a sketch at the top. We can use the top lamp plane, press P, and then click one of the outside edges. So we have one of these points. Press OK. Then press C for a center point circle. Click on the origin, then go out to this circle. Now we're going to offset. Select offset, click the line, and we want to go -2. Because these are at an angle, we need to go a little bit farther. So I'm going to go -3 to give it just a little bit more structure at the top. This will be better for printing and for using. And press OK. Finish this sketch. Then we'll construct an offset plane. Click offset plane, click this sketch, and type -5. Create a sketch right on the offset plane, then create project intersect. Move down and click one of these edges, the outside edge, and you can see that it's going to intersect this point. Press OK. Press C for center point circle, click the origin, and then move out to this circle right here. We'll use the same offset, click here, and then -3. So now we have two profiles that we can loft in between. Finish this sketch, then create, loft. Click the bottom profile and the top profile. In Fusion, you can't loft with a center void, so this will create a big solid, but we can loft it out with our profiles later. And instead of cut, we want to do join. This can take some time for Fusion to calculate, but just be patient. Once it's done lofting and joining, you'll see you have a perfectly solid top. You can leave it this way depending on what design you want to make. But if we re-show those sketches, so these are the last two sketches, then create loft, select both of the inner circles, and then this will cut out that exact path that we need. And then just press OK. Now we can hide those sketches. Once all the bodies are joined, your browser is much cleaned up. So now we only have this single body. And then we repeat the process on the bottom. We'll create a sketch on the bottom plane, press P, select one of these outside points, select center point circle, click on the origin, and then go to that point. We'll use the same offset distance of 3 millimeters. Click -3, OK. Finish the sketch. Create an offset plane from this sketch, and this time we'll go 5 millimeters in the positive direction. Create a sketch on that offset plane. Exact same process as the top. Create, project, intersect. Zoom in, find one of these legs, and then click one of the outside pieces. In this particular case, this leg doesn't go up far enough, so I need to select this edge so I get a good point on the outside. Press OK. And then press C for center diameter circle. Click the origin, move in, and then click that point. Select offset, click that outside line, -3. Finish that sketch, then select create, loft. We can select these two profiles. Once again, Fusion will create a full solid, and we'll have to loft again to have the void. And we don't want cut, we want join. Select OK. Re-show those two sketches. Once again, create, loft, select the inner circle, and then the other inner circle. This will cut out, and press OK. You can hide those sketches, and now you have a really cool parametrically derived lofted lampshade that you can 3D print. This is a simple design. You could have multiple curves on different contours, and the possibilities are virtually endless. Hopefully you can model your own 3D printed lampshade and then put it to use in some of your projects. Happy 3D modeling.